Welcome back, everybody. It is December the 29th. I hope you had a great Christmas time with your friends and family. Please stay safe out there. It is spiking again, these numbers. COVID is running rampant, and we are probably going to be in a lockdown again here in Ontario. But finally, it's able to get some more information on some of the promo cards. So I wanted to do a quick little market update, show you kind of the template similar to my other ones I've been building, as well as dive into a little bit more on the print run and maybe go through some of the top 10 rarest promo cards. So stay tuned, and here we go. All right. So real quickly, I did want to just kind of go through some of what I have done. I've actually got, if you can see the tabs at the bottom here, I've got tabs for different types of promo cards. So there are a whole bunch of different miscellaneous ones. So again, I've always got the artist, the cheat, and the affiliation. Obviously, those are not going to be the things that people are looking at as much, but we've got here kind of the card numbers. So we've got a whole schwack of different promo types. There's the Haunted Castle Gaming Anniversaries, Ragnarok, SkyCons, Championships, blah, 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 that sort of stuff. And then we've got the cards. I've actually got a column in here for how many copies of each of these cards have been printed. And then anything in green are current listings, prices in white are previous listings that had been up. Whether this stuff is sold or not, this is all taken from Dragon World just because I don't have a very good other source of finding these promo cards listed online. But right off the bat, you see this Skystorm Dragon for $6,000. We'll get into that in a little bit here, but we go kind of through this. We get into the champion. These are all the foil champion cards. We've got the game store promos. We've got the anime and the chibi. We've got the Future League. We've got the organized play. And then we have got the Patreon promos. And then I've kind of got it where I've got kind of everything put into one column here. And then the rarest, which we're going to get to in a second here. So essentially what I've tried to do is build this out in a fashion that once I have this kind of all complete, we can hopefully get this into the community so people can track this stuff. And I've got columns here for kind of how many you have and, what the extended amount would be if you've got multiple copies and just want to get an idea what your collection's worth. But really quickly, I'm going to switch over into a different presentation that I've kind of built for this. So give me one sec. All right. Let's dive right into this. So we're going to go over the promotional cards, the rarities, and the top 10 rarest promo Genesis cards. The spreadsheet I was previously showing you there has more of the cards on it, but I just want to kind of dive into the different types and show you the rarest ones right now. All right, so when I have that tab miscellaneous, we've got SkyCon, Game Day, Ragnarok, Haunted Castle Gaming Anniversary, Championship Circuit Promos, EU Exclusive, Chinese New Year, Canada Day, J2 release, and some VIP. All of that I lumped into miscellaneous just because I didn't want to have a million tabs going. The rest of the items here in red, the LGS, Future League, Patreon, OP, and then the anime and chibi champions, I've got kind of broken apart into their own tabs. So when we get into the first miscellaneous one, we've got a few here. I kind of wanted to just highlight a few that I thought were kind of interesting. So you got the Smoke Bomb, Game Day, only 18 copies of that. Giant Scorpion, SkyCon one, 54 copies. Tsunami, SkyCon as well, 54 copies. Then we've got this pair of Sky Storm Dragons. We have one that had 50 copies, and then there's this alternate art one that only has 4 copies, and that is the one that is on Dragon World for $6,000 right now. And I did want to just kind of showcase those two, but later on when I go back through the spreadsheet, you'll be able to see kind of all the cards, and I'm going to go back to that at the end of this. I just didn't want to spend too much time yet, but I want to give you guys a little bit of an idea of the different flavors of promo cards that are out there. And then we've got this Elemental Dominance. I haven't found out from Sid where this came from yet, but if you notice the logo on here, the logos have, the promo logos kind of change all the time, but this one here, there's only 4 copies as well. And I'd be really curious to see where those are and who's got them. One of the things I'm hoping to do is similar to with some of the sealed beta Galera and Rays product is if people are open to letting me document and understand who's got some of these extremely rare cards. It's great for the community. If somebody wants to anonymously buy or sell them, I can kind of act as a middleman and allow you guys to have that anonymity there. So when we move into the foil champs, I think a lot of people, want to get a set of these just because, obviously the champions are crucial to the game and you probably have your favorite one, but there's about 500 copies according to Sid of each of these, and I'm just showcasing a few of them here. So I did want to put up the 2 different Kendras just to show you that there are the Philip and the Damian artworks, the full arts. There's two versions of each champion that are available, and we're just I'm only putting 6 on the screen here, but there's about 500 of each of those. And so as this game continues to grow, if one of these is your favorite, you might want to grab it now before it becomes too hard or too expensive to get. The LGS ones, we've got some of the early backers of the game. So heads or tails, the giant scorpion. Steve-O loves the giant scorpion, so it's awesome that they had that one. Rochester Games got this shoulder throw, which I believe there's one on eBay still. Dragon World got this decoy rabbit. Black Knight Games in Hamilton got this Thunderstruck. I put this one up. I'm hoping somebody in the comments or can reach out to me and let me know. I don't know if Lost Star is an LGS or something else, but I lumped it into LGS. I actually have this card, so I'm curious to see what it came from, but I believe it is an LGS, but maybe someone can confirm that. And then I put on the long kitchen table compete sport because I think that one is just really cool, and I think the partnership that they had there was really good for the game. So we get into the, these are kind of the fan favorites I think right now is these anime, and so this Nubia, there's only 30 copies of this. So I know Matt's is looking for one. If anybody's got one, he's all over trying to get one. And then there's the non-full art for 54 copies, so you can kind of see the text is just all removed. And there's a few different champions that they have those of. And then we have this newer Raha one that there's greater than 1,000 copies of. So one of the things I was told by Sid today was that any card that has this greater than 1,000 copies, he just kind of doesn't understand really how many are out there because he's kind of lost count. They've just been printing so many things so fast and furious recently. So in my opinion, these are probably plentiful right now, but as the game grows, will become more and more scarce. And so if you're looking to collect or looking, where you might want to spend your money and grab ones, I would gravitate towards if you see any of the older ones that you want, just because they're going to become really hard to get. And then of course, Mr. Pasito's Chibi Arts. So 153 copies of them, and there was one for each champion made. And I don't have the back here, but on the back he's got, the art, the full art as well. So really cool to get a set of those. I've got a signed set that he gave me at the championship, and I know a lot of the other people there got them. But if you've got a favorite and you're looking for one of those, it's a good time to grab those as well. Whoops, we get into the Future League. We've got this Baruch, 8 copies of that one. Elm, 10 copies. And we've got the Bolt Shot, which I believe is on Dragon World's website right now for sale. I think it's $1,200. Chiasmodon, Malfeasance, and Primordial Force. There's obviously more. I've just taken a sampling of each of these different groups. So these are Future League promos for the early play testers of the game who have helped kind of develop it. And so back in September, 8 people got it, October 10, November 15, December 20, just to kind of see how it's been growing. I wanted to kind of put those in order there. When we go to the OP, just keep in mind all the OP, there's OP1 right now out, and those, I believe there's 20 cards, and they all have a foil version as well, it said. So I know I've got one in foil, but looking to get some of these other ones. But again, these are all 1,000+ copies. So we've got the Oni, Ajna Tiger, Rain of Arrows. Rain of Arrows and Pressure Point are both key because these were not reprinted in any of the sets since beta, and so these are great ways to get these cards if you need them right now to play with. And I'm sure people, between like $5 to $10, you can probably get these. Vampiric Kiss, another one that was not reprinted yet, will be reprinted in Origins, but if you need one until then, great card to get. And Death's Companion. So I tried to put, besides the Tiger, I put actually the Tiger hasn't been reprinted either, I don't think. I don't believe that was in J2, I think it was just in J1. So the rest of these were all not reprinted yet, and that's one of the reasons why they were put into these OP promos, just so people can get copies of them. Now we get into the Patreon one. So if you are a Patreon member, you get sent packages of cards each month. And so back in March of 2020, this must have been when Rays was, either just came out or just about to come out, and these are just promotional copies. So they had Kun, Careful Consideration, that was from March of 2020 as well. Here's a Hydroblast from November. So you can see in March there's only about 20 copies of cards, and then by November there's 192. So the amount of Patreon members went up. This one I thought was cool. It's an alternate art. There's two versions of this Chain Lightning that were made. One had a higher card count than another, so I put that one, the lower card count one, in there. It looks really cool too. Gust, 36 copies. And this one, I don't know if anybody here has seen it yet, but I just saw it on the website today, so I thought I'd put it up. There's 3,060 copies of this Pain Imp, which I believe is coming out in Origin. So pretty cool that they have leaked that or released it, but I thought you guys might get a kick out of that. And I guess that's coming in our January Patreon package. All right, so what I wanted to do was, before I go back into the spreadsheet and show you guys kind of the data, I wanted to just kind of, give you what the top 10 rarest promo cards are to date. I have some mixed feelings showing this because I wanted to go and get some of them. There are some of these that I've seen for sale on Dragon World. I have a feeling that people who watch this content go and buy stuff after I release these videos, because I've seen a lot of the epics go missing from their website and the alpha beta stuff. So be that as it may, I didn't want to hold back the content, but I would love to get some of these cards as well. So, all right, we're going to do this top 10 countdown list. So in number 10, Tide. So there's more than one card that has 20 copies only. This card's from the Patreon package, March 2020. We had Careful Consideration. So first of all, this card is absolutely gorgeous. And second of all, you see how there's the J logo and then the promo logo. So they've kind of gone a few different ways where they show some of these logos. So you'll start to see, hopefully they standardize knowing what's a promo. The fact that it says Patreon March 2020 is nice. And then J, maybe that should be like a Patreon logo or something, but we'll see what happens. Coming in Tide for 10th, we have a Future League promo card from December, and it is the Chiasmadon. So this one is actually, I believe, up for sale as well. I think it's $300 right now on Dragon World's website. So personally, myself, I'd love to get this card. I think $300 is, maybe in the future it'll look like a steal, but I just don't feel like this is the card I want to spend my money on, but I'm sure somebody out there will, so all the power to them. All right, and I believe this is the last one tied for number 10 with 20 copies is the Olgoy Korkoy. So this again was you see how the FL now that's for Future League. So you know they're starting to standardize. This stuff is all going to be uniform, I think, in the future. But really beautiful card and very very low print run. 20 copies, guys. Like that's crazy. Like there's I don't know. It's just going to look nuts in a few years when people have if people have multiples of these. It's going to be even crazier. All right. Oh, there's one more tied in 10th. The Celestial Hegemon from May 2021 Future League. So another Future League card. Same thing. You know, they've got the FL logo, so it's pretty cool. All right. So in number 8, we have another tie. 18 copies of this card. Heads or Tails Gaming. Giant Scorpion. So this is an alternate art. There's actually, I believe, three art pieces now for Giant Scorpion. And so this one's got the alpha scroll look, which is really awesome. It's got H heads or tails, I guess H over T. So Steve-O may have a few of these left, I don't know, but Steve-O, if you're watching, I would love to get my hands on a copy of this one. It's pretty cool. And as well, in number 8 tied is this Smoke Bomb, this Game Day exclusive. I would love to hear more about what Game Day was. I don't know if this was, you know, maybe a learn to play day or some kind of a tournament or something, but again, we got the alpha scroll. Looks really cool. Beautiful, beautiful looking card here. All right, moving into number 6. Again, we have a tie. Multiple copies or multiple cards with 17 copies only. So this one came from the Patreon in March 2020. This was Kun. So this was earlier. I showed you this, but you know, a champion with only 17 copies, and not only a champion, but the one that won the championship. Kun. And Odara. This one, I'm trying to build an Odara deck. If anybody's got this, I would love to trade for this card because I feel like she's underappreciated, and maybe somebody who has this doesn't really care to let it go. Let me know. This would be awesome. All right. We're getting into the top 5 now. So 15 copies. One of the most iconic, and the full art, just gorgeous. Look at this. Usually you don't get to see the whole thing like this. Future League, November 2020, only 15 copies. I imagine the 15 people who got these do not want to let them go because they're probably still playing the game and they're testing and, you know, all the time. And this is probably something that just means more to them than ever trading away or selling. But having said that, there's one for sale right now. So if you're really keen to get it, this is one of the most iconic cards in the game. So this is one that will definitely be sought after. Number 4, only 10 copies of this one. Alilm, another playable rare that was turned into a Future League card. This time it was in October of 2020, so only 10 copies of this are around. So guys, we're getting into like super exclusive rarity here, like 10 copies. You know, a month earlier there was 15 copies. So, you know, I don't know what else to say. Like 10 copies of a card. There's nothing. There's only 3 cards with less copies printed, and we're gonna get to them right now. Number 3. This is a big one. Future League. This is again a month earlier. So the last card was Alilm in October of 2020. In September of 2020, boom, Baruch, another one of the most iconic cards in the game. Only 8 copies of this. And what a beautiful card it is, and what a highly played card it is. So in my opinion, the most highly played cards with the lower print runs are probably going to be the ones that are going to be most sought after by collectors. I mean, that's the way I look at it. I'd love to get the Baruch, the Bolt Shots, any kind of Angels, those things that are super low print. But this one's just gorgeous. 8 copies. All right, moving on to number 2. We have a tie. So the second and the first place card, which are both going to be called number 1 because they're tied, and we're not going to play favorites. There's 4 copies of each of these 2 cards. This Elemental Dominance. Again, I don't know where this came from. It's just called Special Promo. I want to know who has these. I want to see one. I wonder if anybody is like sitting on more than one of these. But you know, in my opinion, not a very playable card that I've seen. But you know, prove me wrong. But the fact that there's only 4 of them in existence, this is tied for the rarest card in the game. Okay, and who is it tied with? It is tied with the alternate art Sky Storm Dragon, which you can get for the low price of $6,000 right now on Dragon World's website. Yes, you heard that correct, $6,000. Although I don't think that this card should be worth that just yet. Time will tell. This is, I think, a more playable and more iconic card than the Elemental Dominance. But there you have it, the 2 rarest cards in Genesis from the promo side of things, Sky and Elemental Dominance. Okay, so we're back to the spreadsheet that I built. So I kind of have just wanted to show you guys this after I showed that video, or sorry, that slide deck that I built. So this here is the rarest of the promo cards. I've kind of sorted it by rarity. Everything in this kind of orangey color is for 20 copies and under. And then everything, except for these 2, they should be red. Everything in red up until, 100 copies. And these ones are 50 plus. We just know there's 50 plus. And then there's a whole bunch of unknowns. And so those unknowns, a lot of that's the organized play. And we've got these gold stamp champions. So they've got the 2019 stamp on them, and they came individually sealed. So what I want to do is just kind of go through quickly with you guys and show you. So this guy is going for 6,000 right now. Elemental Dominance, never seen. Baruch has an old price tag up on Dragon World for 350, and Al-Ilm has an old price tag for 100. All the ones in green are currently up on Dragon World, by the way. So Bolt Shot, $1,200. Haven't seen this Kunin or Odara. Smoke Bomb was up there for 200. Steve-O's Giant Scorpion from Heads or Tails up there for 1,000. You got Chiasmodon, Olgai Korkoi, Celestial Hegemon, Careful Consideration. And when you get into some of these other cards here, you start to see the Pale Fox. I'm just gonna try to pick some that I think are, you got these Fuller, Gust, Behemoth, another Giant Scorpion. There's the other Sky Storm Dragon. So $500 for a 50 copy. Print copy. One of the things that I find kind of interesting is where these prices kind of land. I look at it from a pure numbers. The rarer the card, I think that there should be a premium on that, but then it also should depend on the actual card and the popularity of it. So that's why you see things like Vampiric Kiss at one point was 300. It maybe would be more now. Look at some of the other more playable cards like this Angel of Retribution. We just know it's 50 plus, $125. Get into the organized plays, and you see a lot of those are for sale. These actually shouldn't be on this rarest tab. This is just coming up as unknown. So those would be up on the all promo tab. This isn't sorted by rarity, but we can kind of just go through real quickly. So I want to just say, like, the foil champions, they look to be going for about $100 each. For some reason, there's one or two of them at $110, but there's about 500 copies of these. So for $100 for a 500 copy card, I look at something like, kind of use this Future League like this. Bulgari Korkoi, there's only 20 copies of that. It's going for 100. In my opinion, I would rather grab this, grab the champions later, but that's just me. We get into the LGS ones. So heads or tails actually had the Giant Scorpion and the Fire Cub. And so the Giant Scorpion, obviously only 18 copies. You know, 72 copies of these three. They must have all got those at the same time, but you know, very low print runs, guys. Like, and we get into these anime ones. The anime cards, 54 and 30 for the full arts. So there's a Malik for 150 right now. Future League, we've got a few that we don't know how many, but we know that there's greater than 1,000 copies. And then the Stone Protector, I don't know why that's not even on the website, but I think there's one on Dragon World going for $200. Again, this is maybe an example of a playable card that's going for more than some of these other cards. I mean, I imagine the Chrono Walker and the Giant Scorpion would probably sell pretty fast if they were a low amount, just because they're cool to have. And the organized play looks like there's greater than 1,000 copies of each of these, and they're ranging from again, like, you know, $3 to $11, and then there's foil versions of each. So I haven't seen any of those for sale. If you've got one, let me know. I would love to get a foil Oni if there's one out there, and Pure Kiss, Rain of Arrows. I think those would be cool, even if you're not willing to trade it. I love seeing pictures of these things, so feel free to send me one, and maybe I can put it up and use it, because when I click on these, it's just taking me to the Haunted Castle Gaming website, which doesn't have the foil version of it. And then there's the Patreon. So as you can see, the Patreon goes up by the month. And there's this Canada Flag Amber Dragon one. That was pretty cool. Hydroblast, only banned card. You start to see some of the newer ones here. So greater than 1,000. Again, as per Sid, these could have way more than 1,000. And then we've got this new Pain Imp. There's 3,060. So, you know, that's going out to the Patreons. So I don't know how many extras there's going to be here. Maybe we're all getting like 5 or 6 in our package. I don't know what he's doing. So, yeah. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you guys. And, you know, thanks for sticking around. And hopefully I can start to do some more market updates and then just kind of blast through some of this stuff and show you guys what I'm seeing stuff selling for. I still got to figure out a way to keep some historical data, but I think what's hardest right now is there's just not a lot of data out there. So if you've got, if you know of sales happening, or you know other sources that are selling stuff besides eBay, Dragon World, in the Discord, if I notice something going, I'll try to keep that up to date. But feel free to send me that if there's private sales, if you're happy to disclose that. And also for some of these rarest cards, you know, anything with 20 copies, maybe even like 30 copies and under, I'm curious to start documenting and understanding who has what, to either to you know, offer some stuff to them for trades or to buy, but also to help middleman stuff for other people that are looking potentially for these cards and just don't want to have their name out there. So until next time, you know, feel free to click like, subscribe, that sort of stuff. Send me some comments, and I'll hopefully get another update video shortly.